And welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting Let's Read Japanese course series for the reading of Japanese text alongside its audio counterpart. Today's episode is going to be Kurokawa Kurokawa no Techo, episode 2, part 2. So again, story is continuing. This one, Motoko, she's basically trying to set up to get rid of um, Namiko's. There's a lot of co's in here. Ichiko, Motoko, Namiko. That's anyway. Trying to get rid of her finances by basically disrupting her patron's relationship with the head nurse that been working with for 20 years. All right, so it's very clever. And then there's a little bit about politics involved. Someone trying to basically take over a position of the government in and whatnot. So yeah, there's a pretty good stuff going on here. It's a really good story. A lot of moving parts. I like it, but it can get a little dark and kind of uncomfortable to watch. It's really uncomfortable to watch on some of this stuff. Okay, with that said, let's get started. For those on YouTube, if you enjoy this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Feedback's always welcome. Are if you enjoy this series and you'd like to see more series like this, and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because I plan to do more like this in the future. This is all part of the Let's Learn Japanese project. So if you appreciate what I'm doing with helping the Japanese learning community, then one way to support that is through the Patreon, so link in the description below, as well as links to the community Discord and the Let's Learn Japanese website that Otaku Day put together. Finally, if you'd like to hire me on commission or technical assistance, advice, although usually it's a one-on-one where I help walk you through the steps of setting Anki and some of the other resources to get you over the growing pains that are uh, trying to learn Japanese using these resources, then yeah, the hourly rates and the payments are via the Patreon, but the direct link for that is in the description below as well. Cool. With that said, let's get started. Those of you on Twitch, I see the one viewer is there. I don't know how many people are going to be watching this on YouTube. I kind of wonder, like, I uploaded yesterday's episode and there was there was no hits. So that was good. So whatever uh, sometimes it looks at what I'm talking about. So the subject matter didn't seem dark enough to say, okay, yeah, it's been tagged for that. So it wasn't. So that was good. And there was no hits for the music, which is surprising because that theme song is very prevalent throughout the episode when the she's starting off doing something super underhanded, but it is what it is, and that's good. And yeah, but let's continue. Um, okay, around 22-minute mark, so let's give about a minute earlier from when the video stopped.
すわけないわ。こっちが勝手にやめるんだし。
ナミコに2億も出したのに、20年身を粉にして働いた不調さんに退職金も出さない？
そういう人なんです。もう会いたくない、顔も見たくないわ。
じゃあ私が参ります、不調さんの代わりに。私先生に交渉して喫茶店の開店資金と生活に当分苦労しないだけのお金をもらってきて差し上げる。そうね、1000万でどうです？
そんなに？
当然の金額だと思いますよ。
So you just know she's playing a game here, because yeah, she's not doing this out of the good kindness of her heart.
でもどうしてそこまでしてくださるんですか？
実は、ナミコの新しい店はうちの店のすぐ上なんです。
Pepper it with truth.
私はなおさらナミコが許せないし、それになんだか不調さんが気になって仕方がないんです。どこか私に似てらっしゃると思うせいかしら。ごめんなさいね、失礼なこと申し上げて。
いえ。
でも不調さん、自分の店を持つって何事にも変えられないぐらい素敵なことなんですよ。私ナミコのおかげで今店は大変だけど、それでも手放そうとは思わない。
手放す。手を持っていたものを離す。Let go of something. Okay, oh, let go of something you hold. Okay.
それでも手放そうとは思わない。自分の城ですもの。
分の城。
My own castle.
その喜びに比べて男に頼って生きてるなんてつまらない儚いことだとお思いにならない？
儚いこと? Ah. Interesting. Fleeting, fickle. 儚い. Simple kanji.
儚いことだとお思いにならない？ねえ部長さん、私を信じて任せてくださったら絶対に悪いようにはしない。
Bad stuff's gonna happen. I promise you nothing bad is gonna happen. Bad stuff happens.
お約束します。
本当に？やだ、私ね、ここに来た時はもうここに鉛みたいになんかこうつっかえてて。
Lead me tiny? Being sluggish? Namari. Leaden. Yeah, right there, but probably that one right there. Anyway, Namari tiny.
鉛みたいになんかこうつっかえてて。でも今は
気持ちが軽くなった。
Oh, she is evil. I love it.
部長さん、
Pure evil. I love it.
その呼び方はやめて。
Well, maybe not evil,
い
but
ちこって呼んでください。
she's definitely cunning.
じゃあいちこさん、あなたにお願いがあるの。あなたにしかできないこと。
何？
これはうちの店の裏帳簿です。
Yeah. 裏帳簿。
うちの店の裏帳簿です。これを税務署に見せられたらうちの店は終わり。その代わり奈良林美容外科クリニックの帳簿を持ち出せない？表じゃなくて裏帳簿。一晩だけでいいの。
裏帳簿。
裏帳簿。
それがあれば奈良林先生は退職金を出さないわけにはいかないわ。
Clever, clever. By the way, I don't think that's her real secret books that she would just lay out in front of the other lady. Ah, 何こう。
何がおかしい？
別に。
言うとくけど、私はママに借りは返したつもりやで。
借り？これが借りを返したっていうのかしら。
私目当ての客のおかげで。
Anyway.
これ借り？これが借りを返したっていうのかしら。
私目当ての客のおかげでカルネは繁盛したやないの。
繁盛。I know it's probably like did well. Hanse. Prosperity's prosper. Yeah, 繁盛。繁盛したよ。
私目当ての客のおかげでカルネは繁盛したやないの。
She's probably she's probably overthinking her importance to what that was.
バンスも返してないくせに。
advance.
バンスも返してないくせに。
返すわ。倍にして返したるから。
あ、そうそう。忘れるところだったわ。これどうぞ。改装工事まだ終わってないんでしょ？差し
Why so cordial?
差し入れ差し入れ改装工事まだ終わってないんでしょ。差し入れ改装なんかしたって無駄だとは思うけど。おはよ
おはようございます。夜はやらない約束なのに文句言ってきましょうか。
う。いいわよ。開店までまだ時間あるし。
ママ優しいから。
Oh, she is not. Okay.
はい、カルネです。もしもし。
誰？
Stalker.
何も言わずに切れちゃいました。最近多いんですよ。
いらっしゃいませ。
He's the guy you don't fuck with. Okay. What's the guy is? Nakai. Maybe that is his name. Nakai.
いらっしゃいませ。皆様お待ちです。こちらは会長さんに。
Oh boy.
会長さんはおブーですか？
君は
Oh,
君は
会長さんはおブーですか？
君は関西の生まれか。
神戸です。
いい色艶してるな。
会長、冷やかさないでくださいよ。
東林銀行の北口支店長が異動の挨拶に来たな、おとつい。
どうも。
異動の挨拶に来たな、おとつい。
Ototsui. Let's see. Oh, Totoi. Okay. Let's see. There's more to it than that. I'm not saying it's like if it's a.
異動の挨拶に来たな、おとつい。
そうですか。
なんかやらかしたらしい。お前知ってるか？
いえ、聞いてません。
飛ばされるんですか？
だな。
大丈夫かな。
I would not let the lady be in there with this conversation going on. Okay, searching for the.
やっぱり戻ってきてくれたんですね。
委員長は？
今日は千葉の分院へ行く日ですから。
そうだったわね。
Bowie? Okay, so I mean, kind of guess that's what it was, but
今日は千葉の分院へ行く日ですから。
そうだったわね。実は私病院辞めることになったの。
どうしてですか？
いや理由は今言ってる暇はないんだけども、今日は自分の荷物を取りに来たのね。院長とはなるべく顔合わせたくないから、なるべく早く済ませたいんだけど、あなた悪いんだけどキッチンで私のコーヒーカップとか取ってきてくださる？
はい。
18茶。
はい、かしこまりました。
ぼったくりだな。
oh, oh yeah, that's okay. Let's see what Bota is. I've seen it before, but Maybe it's Bodu right there. Yeah, Bodu. Fair enough. Bodu. Botakuri. Bodu. Botakuri.
ぼったくりだな。
Definitely one of those penny wise or pound foolish.
お久しぶり。
はい。
ごめんなさいね、突然呼び出して。
いやいやいや。
いらっしゃいませ。
同じのください。
はい、かしこまりました。失礼。
いやー、ますます磨きがかかるね。実はね、ママにはいずれ挨拶に行かなきゃと思ってたんだ。
本当？
ナミコにもそうさせるつもりだったんだけど、悪かったね、ママ。まあ僕に免じて許してやってよ。
免じて。Okay.
ね、ね、まあ僕に免じて許してやってよ。ね。
それを聞いて胸がスーッとしました。
いやーよかった。僕も胸に使いが降りたよ、ママ。僕も胸に使いが降りたよ、ママ。
胸の使いが。
私もね、本当の気持ちはナミちゃんを祝ってあげたいのよ。
それを聞いたらね、ナミコも喜ぶよ。
でも実際に応用にもしてられない事情があって。
That's a hawk's nest. Oh yo. Utario. Generous. Yeah, so that's hawk, obviously. And then yo, that's the give. Elevate, raise. Oh yo. Yutari, furumau koto. 余裕があって無作にことはないこと。Generous. Okay. Oh yo.
でも実際に応用にもしてられない事情があって。それで思い切って先生にお電話差し上げたんです。
まあ聞くだけは聞くから言ってごらん。
もっと静かなところでお話ししたいの。二人っきりで。
She definitely plays it well.
ママ、本当にいいの。
そんなこと女に言わせないで。
橋田のやつ悔しがるだろうな。ママにとっくんなのに。
もしかして先生、橋田さんにおっしゃるつもりじゃ？
言うわけないよ。言っちゃったらつまらないじゃないか。これから橋田君に会うのが楽しみだな。ママ、まさか橋田のやつともう。
言っときますけど、私そんなに簡単な女じゃありませんのよ。
あ、ごめんごめん。それならいいんだ。
悪い人ね、先生。
ママこそ。ナミコにはこれどうぞ。
お風呂入れてきますね。
What's going on here? There's a little bit of too much of a gap here.
そうじゃなくてさ。いや
あら。
あんまりママ実はね、あんまり時間がないんだよ。
あら。じゃあお帰りになります？
いやそうじゃなくてさ。
いやよ先生、せっかく二人きりになれたのに。私本当はね、先生のこと宿題の頃から素敵だなと思ってたのに。先生とは何子なんかと。
本当ですね。
もう信じないなら信じないでいいですけど。
いやいや信じますよ信じますよね。だから。
待ってお湯をね。気になるのよ音がね。はい。
いいんだよそんなの。
うん。
ごめんなさい。
さあ、もういいだろ。あんまりじらすなよ。
じらす。OK。
ね。あんまりじらすなよ。ね。
いやもう先生、やだやだ、いややめてください、もうやだわ先生。
ママ。
いや何、やめて、
あ、
なんだそっちから誘っといて。この娘じゃあるまいし。
先にお話。
この娘じゃあるまい。なんだそっちから誘っといて。この娘じゃあるまいし。
先にお話を聞いていただきたいんです。
話？
バーデンのこと。うちの店は大損害よ。
その話か。
ナミコはカルネでいろんなことを覚えたのよ。先生と会ったのだってカルネだし。
君だって食堂でちょっと働いてすぐお店持ったじゃないか。
私は食台のすぐ上に店を開いたりなんてしてないわ。
うん。
それが銀座のルールだって先生だってご存知でしょ。
だからって俺にどうしろって言うんだ。
私は本当に困ってるんです。このままだと潰れるわ。
だからどうしろって言うの。金か。
助けていただきたいんです。
言ってみなさいよ。いくら。50万か。
いや。
いえ、5000万。
冗談言っちゃいけないよ。自分がそんなに値打ちのある女だと思ってるの。
値打ち。物や良ささ、良さ、大切なもの。Okay, you're not. So I guess your wealth, the value of, yeah, well, 値打ち。そんな値打ち。
自分がそんなに値打ちのある女だと思ってるの。一回5000万だよ。
そういう意味じゃありませんけど。
じゃあどういう意味なの。やる気もなくなったよ。常識がないのはどっちだよ。あんまり買いかぶらんでほしいね。
買いかぶろ。買いかぶる。Oh, is it かぶる, right? No, you can't say it. 買いか。
あんまり買いかぶらんでほしいね。5000万なんて金右から左へ出せるわけないじゃないか。
いいえ、先生はお金持ちですよ。
バカ言っちゃいけないよ。
東林銀行大石店谷誠二郎7252万、同目黒支店明石陽介6600万、同北口支店神原栄一7300万、同青戸支店下田茂蔵6600万、四つ葉銀行錦糸町支店細川正蔵1250万、同神田支店水野正弘2400万。これ全部先生の口座ですわよね。
君それどこから。
まだまだありますわね。締めて6億2920万ほど。
So when the lady was saying like you went through a third of those savings, that the 2 million made sense now. 締めて、all together. Okay.
締めて6億2920万ほど。でもこれは裏の銀行預金だけの金額ですから、先生の全財産はまだまだおありでしょうけど。
終わり。Oh.
まだまだおありでしょうけど、5000万ぐらいはした金でしょう。
はした金。Well, I mean, it's not loose change. That's again, that's like close to 10% of his. Well, less than 10%, but still, let's imagine like 10% of your savings. That's a lot of money. That's a good chunk of change. Especially stuff that like supposedly saved up over 20 years. Obviously, most of it came sooner than recently than earlier, since he probably became more of a involved in more of the criminal aspects later and later, because he had to, again, he was gathering his money, but to get that much money, obviously he had to be donating it to other causes that those other guys around the table were involved with, to kind of make everyone happy with each other, and they're all kind of were involved in the same embezzle. This I was embezzling is money laundering scheme, most likely.
その金は誰と山分けするんだ。
私、誰かとつるむの嫌いなんですの。
じゃあ誰からそんな噂を聞いたんだ。
それは言えませんわ。でも噂じゃなくて事実ですけど。
恐喝まがいのことまでして。
恐喝。相手の、okay, the weak point of the threat. いつなどをどうしつけること。Okay, threat. 恐喝。まがいの。fake threat. Okay. 恐喝まがいのこと。
恐喝まがいのことまでして、そんなに金が好きか。
先生がお金をお好きなようには好きじゃありませんけど、私お金に復讐しようと思って。
何が復讐だ。これは立派な恐喝だよ。ゆすりだよ。
ゆすり。Okay, let's look at that real quick. ゆすり。
ゆすりだよ。何が復讐だ。これは立派な恐喝だよ。ゆすりだよ。
これで私たちが何もなかったって言っても取らないわね。お風呂も使ったし、ここは奈良林先生のお名前で予約させていただいてるから、やることはやっといて恐喝されたなんて言っても笑いもんになるだけですよね。
5000万払えばその噂どこにも漏れないという保証は。
That's also the problem with when you got to say, hey, you're paying blackmail, how do you say one, you still don't use it, reveal it, and also how do you, ask for more later?
っているのは私だけですから。お金をいただいた上にばらしたりしたら何のメリットがあります？
一回きりだ。
何のメリット？
分かってます。
2週間待ってくれ。
1週間しか待てません。
くそ。
I do like the flamenco music.
ではお先。
it is fun seeing her do this to him, but again, shit's gonna happen to her as well. So it's okay.
もしもし、元子です。喜んでください。大成功よ。ありがとう。元子さんには本当に何て言ったらいいか。ねえ、近いうちに喫茶店の物件も見に行きましょうよ。私も楽しみだわ。じゃあまた電話しますね。
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. That part just kind of made me the most nervous. Is throwing a phone up in the air. That just made me. Yeah.
こんなにうまくいくなんて怖いくらい。
Obviously, it's not going to go well because what would the story be? You know.
うちの病院は不調がいないとやっていけないんだから。
Hence the problem.
ありがとう。あら、ナミちゃん。開店準備は順調？お祝いにはお伺いさせていただくわ。開店準備は順調？お祝いにはお伺いさせていただくわ。
She's too happy. Mama. Oh. Oh, this asshole.
しばらくだね、原口君。
支店長。
いやいや、支店長じゃない。君のおかげでね。
ねえ、ちょっとお茶でもしてきてくれない？
あ、大丈夫ですか、ママ。
大丈夫。悪いわね。
それじゃ。
Where'd you go? Wait, what?
私はね、関連の窓際に追いやられたよ。
ね。He went to wait, let me make sure. Connecting Windows service. Okay, I got you. Okay.
一生、私はね、関連の窓際に追いやられたよ。一生飼い殺しだ。
話してください。
なんだ。なんで一生飼い殺しだ。
話してください。
なんで犯罪者のお前だけがこうやってのうのうと。この店だって他人の金をかすめ取ってこの着物も。
Okay, Kasumu.
他人の金をかすめ取ってこの着物もあの1億2000万でだろ。痛いか。なんだこのぐらい。
See, maybe she shouldn't have let the person who could have helped. I mean, again, going from a position of weakness, certain things you.
男の一生台無しにしといて。
何が男の一生よ。
男の一生台無しにしといて。
何が男の一生よ。窓際だって男の一生には変わりないじゃない。支店長っておだてられなくなったって。
だってたらなくてやることはさせようという意図を持って人の叫びを。Okay. Was that like a compliment from the side? Let's see. Flatter. Yeah, flattery. 童貞らなく。
支店長っておだてられなくなったって、重役になれなくなったって私には関係ないわ。重役になれなくなったって私には関係ないわ。自業自得よ。
なんだと。
帰ってよ。私は掴んだものは二度と離さない。反省も私は掴んだものは二度と離さない。反省もしないし謝罪もしない。とっとと帰れ。
Hmm. I actually like the end credits. They're pretty cool, but and it does summarize, shows scenes from the episodes. So that's cool too.
君銀行に
All right.
君銀行に勤めてた時何したの？
あなたは女の気持ちが分かってない。
自分でもわからないの。あなたのことが嫌いだけど、あなたなんて相手にしてないわ。あなたのことが嫌いだけど、あなたなんて相手にしてないわ。もっと上を見てんのよ。
銀座で商売で経営したろか。
銀座で商売できなくなったのはどっちの方かしら。
銀座で商売で経営したろか。
銀座で商売できなくなったのはどっちの方かしら。銀座で商売で
Okay. There we go. So yeah, that went by pretty quick too. Yeah, these are getting quicker and quicker. Like I said, yeah, it's just yesterday. I was doing a live stream for almost close to 4 hours. Now it's like we're just under a 2 hour mark, and that's again doing also the for those of you who are on Twitch. Then what I do after I sign off with the YouTube portion of it is I play the audio that goes. So I play the audio that I ripped from the audio that I downloaded, and then it's along with the subtitles, so it's playing. So you're not seeing the video, you're just seeing just the audio, or hearing just the audio and then seeing the subtitles, and it works out pretty well, like as a second viewing. You could also just sit down and watch the show again, but I'm not doing that. That's the kind of defeating the purpose. I think that's like definitely a step too far, way too far. I'm pretty sure channels on YouTube there's stuff on YouTube and Twitch that does that. I'm just not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Beyond that, okay. Anyway, so again, this was like a 45-minute episode, and if you look at the audio I got, it's like it takes it down to 35 minutes. So it's 10 minutes is taken away. So it's works out pretty good. Let's see what we got. I think that's about it. Yeah, there's really not much to say. Again, it's a good episode, and because there's only 7 episodes, there is like very little downtime. This stuff is moving fast. This story moves fast. I think the remake, it was like 12 episodes, so there was quite a bit of drag. I think they added more to the story that kind of made it go slow and feel like they were stretching out the plots and the conflict a little too much from what I remember. I didn't really watch it. It kind of was getting a little slow to me, but also I wasn't really understanding the story. I was like missing some parts of the story. It's not too difficult to figure out what's going on. It's just kind of, yeah, it was just it was still good. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was actually when it came to some some TV shows that are made, that one was well made for the season. Usually, again, you get like a dozen or more, a few dozen TV shows per season, of which most of it's, not even, you have to consider it. But of those, there's quality, and then find the quality, and enjoy it. There's that's a good thing. Is like that's a good thing about Japanese is like because there's so much good quality media. Just take the top picks, go for it. And if and also be willing. Some people ask, and I say there's no problem with it if you want to watch stuff not that was made in other countries that's dubbed and subbed in Japanese. Yeah, sure, go for it. I mean, but you're gonna miss out. A big thing you'll probably miss out on is one, most of the dubs are done by voice actors, which is they're probably gonna approach it a little differently than how actors would speak. And plus, because it's from outside Japan, then the culture is not going to get translated. You're not going to get a sense or a view of the culture that is kind of tied into the language. I think we mentioned before. But again, but if you had a choice, like I said, 90% of it's still going to be Japanese. So go with it. If that's the thing if that's the thing that gets you into the early immersion or even immersing into Japanese, then go for it. And because again, it's the key here is immersing in the language. And the more comprehensible of the media that you immerse in, the better you get out of it. Because we're talking, because it can't just be watching the same thing over and over again. You could, but um, in my opinion, depending on your mindset, that can get boring very quickly. At the same time, though, you don't want to be watching stuff that just you don't understand. I mean, because it might as well be white noise. You're getting very low comprehension out of it. So it's this is the this was for at least for me, this has been the most workable solution. Some people they're fine with just watching show after show and just enjoying the show as presented. That works as well. It just doesn't work for me um, because I'm just not. It's not my personality. Maybe it's that. Um, but yeah, but also know when to start it. Like we mentioned before, there are some steps you want to take prior to trying anything like this. And like we said, hey, learn hiragana, katakana, learn about 1,000 words of vocabulary and some basic grammar. Learn about 500 kanji. Learn some more, about 1,500 more words, basic vocabulary. It's maybe basic, some more basic grammar. So beginner vocabulary, beginner grammar, basic vocabulary, basic grammar, and then at that point you're at the N4 level, right? And where hopefully that doesn't mean you can pass the N4 test. You may not. Who cares? It's just I'm using that as a level as a reference, and then from there you find out, hey, go and you can actually start doing these whole let's reads, and yeah, it starts slow and it gets faster, and then at the same time you're still trying to build up your vocabulary, your intermediate level vocabulary, intermediate grammar, and it just makes the reading go easier, as well as reading a lot makes reading go easier. And then of course you're using this audio and you're listening to it on loop. That's the 24-hour immersion. So if you can handle that, or you have a situation that allows you to do that, go for it. If you can't, okay, obviously turn it off when it's necessary. It's not like this is the only way. It's a suggested way. But again, it works. You got to listen to a lot of Japanese, and we're talking on the order of thousands of hours. I mean, 10,000 hours is probably not a unusual number. 10,000 hours of watching listening to comprehensible Japanese and reading, tens of thousand pages would not be maybe a I'm not overstating it. When you think about 10,000 pages, a light novel is about 200 pages, 200, 300 pages. So if you do that, that's 50 light novels equivalent. That's like doing the reading of 50 TV series. All right, I'm up to about the equivalent of 35, of maybe closer to 40. But I kind of, yeah, I mean, I'm at the low end. I'm a slow learner, so you know, maybe you'll get it a lot better because you'll maybe do it instead of like spread because I'm doing over a longer period of time. Um, maybe my brain's not changing it, you know, uh, changing into the comprehension it needs as doesn't feel as desperate to do that than if you were doing it like, as doing it like twice as much or three times as much as what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could be, yeah, and again, I'm guessing here. I'm guessing here, but I'm doing it because I'm having fun, so that's why I approach it the way I do. But like most things when it comes to learning Japanese, the more you do per day on average, then at the end of a month or into 6 months or into the year, you obviously will get further in Japanese than someone who's just doing um, less on average per day. It's just a matter. It's a numbers game. That's all. The more hours you put into it, the better you're going to get out of it. And Hours of study is part of it. Hours of reading is part of it. Hours of listening is part of it. It all, it's all a thing. But the studying part is going to be the smaller percentage of everything. But it's still going to be important. It's the most important early on. I mean, that's the thing that gets you to the tipping point that you need. Whatever the inflection point, whatever it is, it gets you to there. That's the major studying part. Then after that, studying is less important, becomes less important compared to the immersion. And then as you get better at the language, the immersion is still the most important because that's your, again, you just need this constant exposure to the language to get more and more where it becomes, again, just instinctual, intuitive. When it's not a part where you have to think about it. You just, when you hear it, you can't help but know it. Like you can't even, it's just impossible for you not understand it. That's what you're aiming for. Okay, so enough about that. Let's see, Schlawiner. Is it Schlawiner or Schlawiner? It's probably Schlawiner. Would you recommend trying to type down your own subtitles for shows that don't have subs in Japanese? I tried that before, but even 10-minute video. No, don't worry about, that's called transcription. Don't worry about transcription. If you need to, one, there's so many shows out there with subtitles. Why are you worrying about a show that doesn't have subs? And what you could do is just to help, if you're going to transcribe, first thing you do is let YouTube do the hard work. Upload it to YouTube privately or whatnot, and let the subtitle, whatever it does, run, and it'll get the Japanese subtitles developed from the audio, and then you can correct the audio, what it typed out. That would be if you're going to do transcription. Let the machines do the hard work first. Then you smooth out the rough edges. Now, I have done that before for transcription. You just don't worry about it. There's so much time involved. That time you spent transcribing would have been better off just trying to learn more shows. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Don't worry about transcribing. Just now, later on, you could be like listening to something and typing it out. Sure, that's fine. But it's better if you're going to check like how well you did. You want it to type out something that already has subs. So you listen to type it out and then see how it compares to the real subs. That's also a thing to consider. And you can do that with this right here is this plugin, Language Reactor or Language whatnot. You can have it to where when it's playing here, you can have where the subs are actually blurred out. So the subs are there, and you're typing as you're listening, but it's blurred out, so you have to hover over it to see it. So you can listen, type it out, cool, then immediately hover over this and compare how much did you get right, and then let it play to the next line, next line, next line. It's that's what I would recommend if you're going to practice transcription. But you're probably not at a level where you need to worry about it yet. If you're not at a native level, you're not past N1, and then why are you bothering transcribing? You need to get better at the language first, then worry about transcribing. Hopefully that makes sense. Same thing, again, it's a lot of people, I mean, it's one of those things, be careful about putting the cart before the horse. And I'm guilty of the same thing. Like, I was one of the group that like learned like a shitload of kanji before we even learned vocabulary. And it turned out all that kanji I learned, well, wasn't that useful. I have done transcribing where I actually had Anki set where you can type out the answer. So I'd listen to it and would type out the answer. But again, you got good at typing. There are some benefits there, but really you're probably better off just looking at something that's type what you read, kind of type out what you're reading first. Like learn to transcribe what you're reading. If you're gonna get you used to typing, there's that. Maybe if you're gonna type out something, type out stuff that's I think, and again, I'm probably wrong here, but find some like 2chan or some other message boards that Japanese people frequent, and transcribe what you read there. Transcribe what you're reading first. So learn to do that. Then later on, learn to transcribe what you're listening to. So you're about an N2 level. Yeah, so we're probably around about the same level. You're probably above me. So, but again, I know what you're saying because I'm guilty of kind of wanting the same thing. Like I've seen shows that didn't have subs and I really wanted to do the subs for it. Um, but if you want, but obviously do it. If you find it fun, go for it. That's all. But if you're doing it because you feel like, oh, you want subtitles, well, if you can transcribe it, you really don't need the subs, if that makes sense. You already know what it means because you're able to hear it and type it out. Yeah, again, that would be my recommendation. But again, if you're going to type it out, again, there's also some good solutions to make that in a more fun way. So, like I mentioned, like there's so I'm not one of those guys that say, no, you shouldn't do this. And so, but you know yourself, you know what you want to do. So if you're going to do that, here are some ideas, and hence the reason why I give out the ideas as well. That's kind of my mentality. Because I hate it when I ask for something online and then immediately people are like, give me a reason, give me all these things about why I shouldn't even be bothering to do it. It's like, I'm not looking for justification as to why not to do it. I'm just looking for, again, this particular situation because again, I know my own personal situation. I think, for example, I was like mentioning about, it was with physical fitness or something, but, you know, um, but I would like, what I would do is like, I'd caution against something, but also give the answer to the question as well. Like, that's a bad idea to do it, but if you're going to do it, here's how you would do it. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, there's some shows I really want a transcript for and no one does it. Yeah, I think again, yeah, YouTube is, I think Microsoft has some of the Microsoft tools can do that as well. There's a few tools that'll do the automatic transcription. And then from there, uh, then you can use the benefit of, if you use YouTube, it'll also do the timing for the subtitle. So you can actually download the subtitle transcripts. Also using that language reactor, the Learn Languages with YouTube, the new version of that. So you can download it as subtitles, and then from there it's easier to then convert the mistakes, fix the mistakes. Again, I have done that for I have done that. It works fine. It's and again, the machine did most of the heavy lifting. You're just correcting the small stuff. Okay. With that said, I think thank you for the question, and hopefully I didn't talk too much about it. I see I got 5 people watching right now, so hey guys, feel free to leave a comment. It helps me achieve my Twitch accomplishments or whatever they are. I think I'm nowhere near associate level. I'm just affiliate right now. But with that said, I think we're done. So for those of you on YouTube, about to call it a day. For those of you on Twitch, I'm going to be doing an additional thing right after this, after I sign off. So here we go. So for those of you on YouTube, if you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the channel, if you enjoyed the series, subscribe to see more. If you like what I'm doing to helping the Japanese learning community, there you can support that one way is via the Patreon, link in the description, as well as through the community Discord and the website. And finally, if you need like one-on-one advice, with me, helping you walk you through setting up some of the programs or resources that I talk about. The hourly rates and the payments are via the Patreon, so the direct link for that is in the description as well. Cool. Okay, so thank you all very much. I'll be back with episode 3, part 1, tomorrow, both on YouTube and Twitch. YouTube, though, tomorrow being like October 15th or something, I don't know. Whatever. Actually, what date is this supposed to be set for? Might as well look at that now. Okay, so that's a 2-1. Oh yeah, it was okay. 2. Yeah, so tomorrow will be October 15th for those of you on YouTube for episode 3, part 1. Yeah, and it's so far it's a good series. It's a difficult series, but it's fun. And that's a good thing. I don't like things to be too boring. So with that said, thank you all very much. Again, see you later on YouTube. For Twitch, stand by. But yeah, later guys.